This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
News team, assemble!
It's back and bigger than ever. It's the Unofficial 40 from Soonerscoop.com. Now, here's the entire Sooner Scoop crew. Carrie, Josh, Eddie, and
George.
All right, happy Thanksgiving. It is Happy Thanksgiving edition of the Unofficial 40 podcast. We are here on Campus Corner for you on this Thanksgiving holiday, and we've been here all week. We'll be here continuing to give you content throughout the week. We welcome in Josh McQuistion from Houston, who's getting ready for, I'm sure, a festive Thanksgiving.
Pretty low key for us this year, guys. It's just going to be me and the, and the kids and the in-laws and Tiffany. It's going to be a small affair. I'm not used to it.
Are you a fried turkey guy?
Absolutely not. I'm anti. I'm not a turkey guy. I don't get it. It's always dry. There's so many things you could eat. I don't know why you'd eat that.
I'm always reminded that Josh's "it's just a meal" Thanksgiving guide, which is 100%. Just maybe the most. I mean, I don't know. I think we saw better qualities of Americanship from the hijackers than we did from Josh right now. I mean, Jesus, it's a great week. What a week it is.
It's a week with, by the way, Eddie, a week with guys driving around with their kids in the car on Thanksgiving holiday. So maybe we can limit the terrorist discussions.
That's called teaching. I mean, certainly the teachers aren't doing it this week, as we've come to find out.
I don't think anybody's working this week. It's crazy.
Carrie, I had a conversation on the board. There was a whole thread on the board about some guy was pissed because they reported him to the ushers at the stadium because he was cussing and kids were around during the Missouri game.
Yeah.
I like that.
Guys, it's a teaching moment. This is how these people talk. That's not how you're going to talk. Like, you get to show them the difference. Like, that's okay. Like, we're here to educate as well.
I mean, we have a line we cross. Everybody knows. I mean, the post game pod was uncensored because I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to go through and bleep it all out. But we do try and have a line. Cutting out the F-bombs. Here and there. Sometimes, most of the time. But yeah, we're not afraid of a little language, and we know you as listeners, you're not afraid either because you've told us. You've come up and said, "I love listening to you guys, especially with my kids in the car. They learn new things all the time." So anyway, it is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Hopefully you'll get to spend some time with your families. We're looking forward to it. We're going to get a couple of tomorrow off. We're here in the office about noon. It was the usual. Let's try and get started at 10:30. Oh, how about 11? Well, I'll get there about 11:15, and here we are. So. Big week coming up, LSU. I do know that, Eddie. They are playing. I know who they're playing this week.
That's good.
Your brain was fried yesterday from all the editing.
I was thinking about that on the way home. I couldn't. I think I really was just completely bored out. Tuesday was a big day around here, so it's.
We're trying to mash everything a week's worth into 3 days. So.
Yeah, and I think starting Thursday too, and I guess for the college basketball fan, Feast Week's been awesome. Starting tomorrow, there's some really good games of importance on the football schedule, and especially in the NFL world. That rolls into Friday with the Egg Bowl at 11 a.m. and the pomp and circumstance that will come with Lane Kiffin and possibly his last game as Ole Miss head coach. And then I'm really excited for Texas A&M on Friday night.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me, and I told George this the other night when we were watching the college football playoff ranking show. Heather did a great job this week, I thought. It's crazy to me that A&M, I think that they're really, really good. They haven't played a team over 500 in the SEC this year. That's just wild to me. As hard as Oklahoma's schedule has been and as tough as that was to navigate, that they haven't played a team over 500. It's just kind of crazy.
It's also crazy to me, And look, I don't think it's going to happen. We've seen it happen, but Michigan could really f*** up college football this weekend.
Yeah, they certainly have the opportunity. I think Josh Pate picked them straight up. I think it has more to do with he's not picking Ohio State in this game until they win it. But, yeah, I mean, Michigan, they could send everything into a bit of chaos, I guess just as much as Stanford could with Notre Dame on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, it's
probably not. They're a 32-point underdog.
It's, again, to me, I cannot get over how Notre Dame just gets a bump from everything that happens. I mean,
they didn't move up.
No, they didn't move up, but all the scenarios that you talk about, like if their upsets happen here or there, like when we're talking about the ACC, I mean, like it doesn't matter what they played everybody. So whoever gets to the championship, they're getting like a bump from it. They're getting a bump from Miami because they lost to them for somehow. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, the committee has done no helping of themselves with the way that they've treated the Notre Dame Miami game. No, I don't know why you play the games
like
if it doesn't matter. Why even play these games? Ari Wasserman, our colleague with On 3, has been irate about the way that the committee is treating Miami.
He's right. Imagine if OU.
I agree with him too.
It's like what if OU was in this position with, say, Michigan, for example, and Michigan was maybe ranked ahead of Oklahoma, even though Oklahoma beat them in week 2. I mean,
it'd be insane.
Like if I was a Miami fan, I would be, and I get it. Miami's played nobody, but neither has Notre Dame. Notre Dame's played no one.
Well, and Notre Dame hasn't lost to nobody. Notre Dame, Miami's lost to 2 nobodies.
I mean, they beat
I'm
USC.
Just tired. I guess
that's their best win.
My argument though, Josh, is I'm tired of this ideology of they have quality losses. Who gives a shit? I don't understand this idea of they lost to better teams, so they should be ranked higher. But why? Miami beat Notre Dame. They beat them on the field.
I mean, I hear you. And you're not again, I'm not saying it's what you're saying is wrong, George. I'm saying the other side of the coin is that was 3 months ago. I don't know that I think to me, they're both 10-2.
I'm gonna get mad.
They did play. If I said who's going to play right now and win, I'd bet on Notre Dame every time.
But
I don't know.
But going out and beating Syracuse, 70-7 or whatever it was, what does that prove?
Nothing.
It's like in recruiting, Josh. We know their floor. We have no idea what their ceiling is.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Absolutely true. It's absolutely true. Again,
and they threw they scored 70 and they threw for under 100 yards.
Yes. Oh,
how is that?
And again,
how is that?
I think they know they didn't have to do anything,
and
they knew that nobody was going to care.
That's why everybody wants Notre Dame in the first round to play Oklahoma, because all they do is run the ball, and OU is going to be able to most likely shut down. As good as he is, they're going to be able to limit Love.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
This was brought up to me, Ryan Chapman, Radio of the Sporting. If they play Notre Dame, and I guess, are we getting ahead of ourselves? Do we have to say first they have to beat LSU this
George
weekend?
has to say that.
They do have to. They have to win this weekend.
The more I look into this LSU team, though, it's hard for me to sit here and say that with a straight face.
As soon as you say that,
I know.
lose.
I know.
That's
but
rat poison.
If they are to play Jeremiah Love, if it's going to be OU Notre Dame, as it would be today, if the tournament started tomorrow, they would have played all 3 Doak Walker finalists.
Ahmad Hardy,
Quan Lacey,
that's
Jeremiah
crazy.
Love.
Yeah.
And the last team to do that went on to win the national championship. So I'm just saying.
Wow.
You know who it was? I didn't know.
Who?
It's, I would say, recent.
It's got to be a Big Ten team.
Yep.
Michigan?
Yep. Jim Harbaugh's Michigan team, who, in a way, kind of mirrors what Oklahoma, they tried to run Jim Harbaugh out of Ann Arbor before they really got it turned around. It is kind of crazy. I don't know if there's any irony there, but maybe coincidental more than anything.
That defense was
Can
really
we give
good.
George some credit for just nailing that first off? Like, well done, George.
Yeah, he was looking at his computer. I think he looked it up.
I definitely did not look it
I'm
up.
kidding.
I definitely did not look it up. I just
kidding.
guessed. Because when you said somewhat recent, I was like, well, who had a great defense?
Kind of crazy.
Michigan.
I mean,
now, to
it
say
is,
that I know who those 3 players were, I don't know. I could look that up.
it is one of those games, the LSU game. Like tomorrow, we'll have the game day preview come out, and you'll want to listen to Wilson Alexander from the Advocate.
Yes.
And just the focus of LSU fans and that program right now, it's not on Oklahoma. It's on Lane Kiffin. And it's just, it's wild to think that someone one of the top 6 teams in the country could just lose their coach overnight.
It's crazy.
I can't even begin to imagine what our buddy Neil McCready and those people in Oxford have been going through over the last 2 weeks. And I think that
Neil came to the office. I mean, he was kind of like, we talked a lot about Lane Kiffin, and like he didn't think they had any chance in that game.
Yeah.
Like, I think Ole Miss fans are a little bit like OU fans have been the last few years, although they've had a lot better teams.
Well, the crazy part is this is the best regular season in school history, and they're talking about losing their coach at the end of the year.
But
and
think if you're an Ole Miss fan, it's like you don't think you're that good. You've lost all these people, and then all of a sudden you get the
Trinidad
Chambliss, and then like he becomes one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Then you come in and you beat Oklahoma. Then all of a sudden, you're one of the best teams in the country. You find yourself in that position, and you're like, all right, things are finally turning around for us. And then the Lane Kiffin stuff happens. I mean, it's just like beat down after beat down after beat down.
Do we all think he's going to LSU?
I don't know.
I would love it if he went to Florida.
I kind of think there's a part of me that still thinks he's
going to stay.
Had like a handshake agreement behind the scenes.
But why would they, if you're Ole Miss, if you had that in any shape or form, you're announcing it.
Yeah, it kind of feels
you're
like
announcing it.
Kind of feels like he runs the town, though, doesn't he? Like he kind of runs everything.
But I think that's why the ultimatum happened, because you have to know better than to give Lane Kiffin, of all people, an ultimatum. Like that, as soon as they did that, it seems like it all just went to shit. But I think they wanted to do that. They wanted to get an extension. They probably got the donors to pony up an incredible amount of money, and they were ready to sign the deal, and he wasn't ready to do it yet. And that might have been Jimmy Sexton trying to squeeze a little bit more money out of people. I don't know.
With the way that LSU has handled the firing of Brian Kelly and taking him to court, does that do anything? Like I saw somebody, I think it was the Tom Mars guy. Is that the guy's name? The attorney that I think represents a lot of coaches, talking about how Jimmy Sexton, he doesn't think would even negotiate with LSU because of the way that they've run this through the courts.
Yeah.
Like, how do you write up a contract when they're not even honoring the one that they just signed or the one that they just fired or tried to burn down?
But also, Jimmy Sexton's job is to get him the most
money.
100%.
I don't know if I believe it, but I hadn't thought about it that way. It would be incredible, though, if I was joking with Wilson Alexander. It'd be crazy if they lose the Egg Bowl and then all of a sudden he's in Norman on Saturday. I don't think that would happen, but it would be unbelievable.
It would be very Lane Kiffin. All right, real quick, Eddie, I know they've got some special holiday stuff going on at Enjoy Vision right now.
Yeah, they're trying to make people see, and that's all we've been trying to do for a while. The holiday season is upon us, Sooner fans, and so are the savings at Enjoy Vision during holidays of LASIK. Now through the end of the year, you can save an incredible $600 on LASIK and lens replacement. All you got to do, you got to schedule a consultation for LASIK or lens replacement. All you got to do is go to enjoyvision.com. It's the letter NJOY, vision.com. Get that set up. They'll tell you what you need to do after that, but it starts with a scheduling of a consultation. Happy Merry savings, and maybe you'll be in the playoffs. That could be fun. Enjoy Vision. This is where the Sooner Scoop LASIKs.
They've already worn the Unity uniforms, though, so you don't have a problem seeing that.
Because you can't see anything.
Yeah, it's just all anthracite.
I have perfect vision, and I still couldn't see them.
Been getting a lot of crap about peptides, but that's fine. I love talking peptides, and so does Will Douglas. But you know what Will Douglas wants us to do from Cody Drug RX today? He wants us to encourage people to donate to the Boys and Girls Club of Oklahoma. And Eddie, I hadn't brought this up because I wanted to save it for now. I think we should tell the story of you murdering a man once again.
Yeah, it just is getting old. I think I've tweeted that, but Jeff Ketchum, he lost his mind on Saturday night. Maybe one of the more embarrassing public displays of just public meltdown I've ever seen. But we took it and ran with it and kind of joined forces with the Boys and Girls Club of Norman, and very pleased, very thankful to say that we now have.
And
over,
real quick, I mean, tell us, like, the CEO reached out to you.
Yeah, so on Sunday, after Ketchum lost his mind on Saturday night and made a complete mockery of himself and maybe even his company, which I do like a lot of those guys over at Orange Bloods, the CEO of Norman, the Boys and Girls Club of Norman, her husband DM'd me, thanked me, just for kind of fighting the good fight against the evil forces that be. And I said, well, if there's a donation, I was going to set up a GoFundMe. And I said, if there's a donation site or a link, send it over to me. I gave him my number. His wife got in contact with me. And then we tweeted it out. And slowly but surely, the money just started pouring in. It's been pretty cool to see. I think over the course of 24 hours, we raised over $20,000. It's over $25,000 now, and I think it's getting closer and closer to 30, maybe possibly over. I haven't gotten an update today, but Melissa Klink has been unbelievable. She's the CEO over there at the Center for Children and Families, which is kind of I think, an overhead of the home of the Boys and Girls Club of Norman, and they've been able to raise, I think it's over $25,000 now. So it's been pretty incredible over the last 3 days.
Where should people go? Like, how do they donate?
It is CCFINORMAN. So CCFI Norman, CCFINorman.org. And that takes you straight to the donation page. Pretty simple process. Once you log on, it's pretty easy to navigate. Whether whatever you want to give, $500 gives a one field trip for Boys and Girls Club of Norman. $250 provides an in-home visit to 4 at-risk families. So that's, pretty good deal, all things considered. And they would take even $25 from you. So it's pretty cool just to see everybody come together, and been very thankful that I was able to use the platform that I have, and it's all kind of turned into a good.
Well, yeah, and I'm gonna chip in as well. I'm gonna put $1,000 in there that was
26,000. We're over 26.
Was
now.
Never executed, if you want to say.
And I will say, I never expected him to pay up. I was giving him shit. I think everybody recognized that on Saturday night, and then he lost his absolute mind.
Say for one person.
Say what?
I said one person didn't recognize that you were just messing with him, but everybody else picked up on it.
Well, yeah, and that's because he's a narcissistic egomaniac that continually tries to get in these little battles with me.
He needs to just
and
stop.
I think as the record shows, I usually come out pretty unclean,
pretty
clean from those kind of battles. So I don't know why he keeps doing it. But I'm going to keep putting my hand out and patting him on the head and making sure that he remembers. He's a very, very small person. We go all over the country covering these teams and games, and it's a lot of fun, and it's cool to meet a lot of people. And I can't tell you how many times people come up to me and say, you got him again. And it's kind of a national thing now that people know that he's a huge loser. But we'll just keep battling and keep going after it and keep raising, $25,000, $30,000 on top of what could have just been $1,000 donation. But he's a douchebag.
It's been a good thing in the end.
No, it's been a great thing. Boys and Girls Club of Norman has been so appreciative of literally every dollar, and especially this time of the year during the holiday season where a bunch of these families would not have anything on Christmas, and it's been pretty cool to be a small part of it.
All right, thanks to Will Douglas at Cody Drug RX for yielding his time, more than his time, to the Boys and Girls Club of Norman. And by the way, he does love teaming up with Oklahoma providers and med spas to get you your high-quality custom peptide therapy safely and fast. Go check out CodyDrugRx.com. Thanks to Will for being a big part of things, as always. Okay, by the way, there is one more Thanksgiving item that I want to get out, and that is, with all this stuff that's going on this week, Man, you weren't over there, and I'm so glad that you weren't. But when John Mateer was asked about what he doesn't like on Thanksgiving, or what food he thinks is overrated, he threw out the green bean casserole.
Yeah,
and it was you would have been very proud, Eddie. It was like
Everybody.
George. It was like Josh Calloway was like he almost was like I thought he was going to try and start a fight for you.
Yeah, thanks for fighting the good fight over in that scrum, because I would have had to have a point of contention, and depending on how Saturday goes, we might have to start looking into canceling the rest of the season. I don't even know if they should be allowed to play in the playoffs if John Mateer's not eating green bean casserole. I need to talk to his parents. I think this is just a kind of a moment too that we realize he's a young man. He just hasn't developed his taste palate.
Need to get him over to Mott or Birdie's or something. Show him what real food's like.
So good. I'm gonna have a double helping on Thursday just for John.
Layla's going to give her first run at green bean casserole this year.
That.
So that's yeah. So I'll report back on that one, Eddie. She is a.
Does Lainey eat it?
No, never really tried it. And the reason Layla's going to try it, Layla loves green beans. To the point, for dinner, I will make her an entire can of green beans, and she will eat the entire can of green beans.
That rocks.
I'll do that. I like green beans a lot.
She loves green beans.
Yeah.
Put a little bacon in
I
there.
do too. I do too. I'm absolutely with it. But she, so we make them try a few things every year at Thanksgiving. Like try this, try that, because it's all it's stuff they don't see very often. So she was like, okay, I'll try that. I'm like, all right. So we'll report back with the green bean casserole testing.
But yeah, definitely just a moment in history that I'll never forget.
It was shocking. It was shocking to come to find that out as we were driving home on Monday night.
Anyway, we did talk to John Mateer. It is, you guys have done a practice report. Another one's going to run today. A lot of talk about the offense, the identity. Ben Arbuckle, John Mateer, trying to figure out who is, who's really to blame for this. And I don't know so much for blame, but how is it going to be fixed? How is it going to get better? We talked to Giovanni Gibson, which I think he could be a part of making it better. I know, George, I think you said, or Eddie, you said that you haven't given up hope on Keontez Lewis being a guy that could be a factor, but I do really think Giovanni Gibson's a guy that, as you guys have said, I'm pretty sure, just throw it up to him. Enough with the Deion Burks, perfect pass drop in the bucket. Just do some back shoulder. And he said that they were working on back shoulder stuff in practice. So, I want to see just some 50-50 balls to Giovanni Gibson, see what happens this week.
Jermichael Carter. I think Jermichael Carter has better speed than Giovanni Gibson does. Let him try and run down there. But because I said, on a different show, it's you don't even need why throw it to Burks, who's maybe not your most physical guy, obviously not your biggest guy, but if you throw it up and Giovanni or Jermichael haven't beaten their guy, they're at least physical enough they can come back to the ball, fight for it, maybe make a great catch, or draw a PI. That's one thing too, is they weren't able to draw any pass interference.
And after seeing that catch on the sideline that nobody thought could have possibly been a catch,
yeah, it's clear Giovanni's got some talent.
Yeah.
He's got some real talent. If they can get him going, I'm not saying it's going to just the offense is going to be amazing, but it certainly would help if they had anybody other than just Isaiah Satania to do something
to make
productive.
one or two big plays.
Yeah, and I still think because Eddie, was it you that said Keontez Lewis? You're not quitting Keontez?
Yeah,
I think that he could still be somebody that can do some stuff for you.
I think that the most important thing too, and we talked about this a little bit in one of the William and Lauren practice reports, Josh, is keep trying. They have to keep trying, extending the ball down the field. I wouldn't stray away from it. I know the weather could be a little bit quirky on Saturday with some rain. I think it is going to rain in the morning, though, and I think
it's
we might
stop.
be good by the afternoon, which is nice.
Stop.
It's going to be a little chilly, but they do need to continue to keep hitting that, even if they haven't been able to get anything out of it. Because I even thought, against Missouri, they're close. I know nobody wants to hear that, but I thought Burks, he was open a couple of times.
Oh, the very first one, guys, out of the gate, Burks has got a step, and John Mateer just throws it too flat. There's a play to be made there.
Well, that's not, and it's not exclusive to John Mateer. I mean, we talked about Dylan Gabriel's deep ball a lot when
He at least underthrew it though all the time and would get PIs. Like maybe John needs to just start underthrowing it because a few of them and some of them like I think OU would have gotten a PI if the ball was just closer. Like that was the problem. It's like he was overthrowing it half the time. So maybe he needs to start underthrowing it because and I agree though, Eddie. Like they need to keep trying. Because what's the worst that can happen? They're not moving the ball anyways. Like,
well, here's the thing: you get a big play. Just one big play on a drive, and it's a Tate Sandell field goal, most likely.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, and like, you get in these situations where they've had a penalty, and it's 3rd and 12 or something. Okay, John, we're throwing this 40 yards minimum. Like this, and if it's a pick, it's a punt. Yeah. Whatever. Like you can live with that. But you have to try. Like, and again, that's why I took some positives out of that Missouri game. Because at least, like you guys are saying, they tried it. They tried to do it. For against Alabama and Tennessee, it was just no. We're not doing that. Like they didn't even look at it.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. Black Friday Game Day on Prime is an epic day of live sports. It all starts at 9 a.m. Eastern with the Capital One Skins game. Then, Black Friday football returns when the Bears take on the Eagles at 3 p.m. And it culminates with the final night of Emirates NBA Cup Group play with Bucks Knicks at 7 p.m. and Mavs Lakers at 10 p.m. Black Friday Game Day, only on Prime.
I know LSU's really talented, but at the same time, this isn't a defense or offense for that matter, team just in general, like they've seen over the last 3 weeks. Like I do think that there is a certain level of irrational confidence that this team has right now that they can go play against anybody, which I think kind of almost benefits the offense as bad as things have been. Does that make any sense? No? Nobody's even listening. Okay.
No, I think it makes sense. I think that, but to your point about LSU is like, you look at them statistically and they are pretty good on defense. And some of that's skewed because they were really good on defense to begin the year.
Yeah.
But offensively, like, I'm not saying LSU is not going to score in the game, but I find it hard pressed to see how they're going to score, more than, 14 points. Like they've not been good offensively, and I like Michael Van Buren. I think he's a really good quarterback. I don't know if he has anybody around him. Like the offensive line, it sounds is like just totally decimated, which is not good going up against this Oklahoma defensive front. And then their wide receivers, I think, have kind of fell below expectations. Aaron Anderson's hurt. I don't think he's going to play. Obviously, Nick Anderson hasn't done much at all, and he's hurt. He's not going to play. The one player that is going to be a tough matchup for Oklahoma is the tight end.
Bauer Sharp?
No, not Bauer Sharp. Though he will be, I guarantee you he'll make a catch on Saturday. But the Green kid, he's a player. But Barry Brown, like he hasn't been the player that I think they thought they were getting in him, and some of the other guys have not maybe been or lived up to the expectations.
I'm stealing this from the great T-Bob Abear that was on the Breakdown with Gabe and Teddy, but I didn't realize, and this is something that that T-Bob had gotten from a tweet from Wilson Alexander, who's going to be on the game day preview with us on YouTube. If LSU doesn't score over 25 this weekend, it'd be the first time in LSU football school history that they will have not scored 25 points or more in a season against an FBS
That's
opponent.
Crazy.
Insane. That's how bad. Like this offense for LSU, now starting Michael Van Buren, and as George said, all the injuries and guys that are out, it's very familiar in a way to what Oklahoma was a year ago when it was one of the worst offenses the school had ever put on the field. It's crazy.
I heard like the start of that interview, Eddie, and I thought the same thing. I was like, wow, that's really a great point, how they two have just flipped roles. Like, yeah. I mean, LSU and OU have just absolutely just reversed where they were a year ago.
Well, it's I think a lot of people at the beginning of the year, you looked at the end of the schedule and, oh, God, they got to go to Knoxville and then Tennessee, then Alabama. Then you get a Missouri team that's probably going to be in the top 10. I think a lot of people thought that this was going to be the toughest game of all four of them. I mean, there was people that were picking LSU to win the national championship.
I picked them to win the SEC at the beginning.
No, they were ranked
how
third.
Stupid am I?
That wasn't crazy, though.
No. And when they went on the road and beat Clemson, little did we know Clemson was also terrible. Right. I mean, it was, looking back on that, it's kind of crazy. But
hey, stuff that happened 3 months ago may not be real. It may not matter.
True. I will say, like, with this LSU team, I'm not saying they're going to come in here and just quit, But I do think if Oklahoma can get up early and get up 2 scores, even 3 scores, I think this game could get ugly quick. And I'm not saying they'll just totally blow them out.
OU's 2025 version of ugly is like 25-3 though.
Yes,
just a suffocating defensive performance.
But I don't you guys think like I'm and again I'm not saying like I think there's obviously guys that are really talented on LSU, and like Michael Van Buren is playing, trying to prove that he can be the starter for whoever the next coach is, or or if he enters the portal, like he's going to want to play well. But it just has that feeling of if Oklahoma can jump on them early, kind of like they did against Missouri in the second quarter. Like if they could do that in the first quarter against LSU, where they get up 10-0 or 14-3 or something, I think that Oklahoma can not put it in cruise control, but kind of dominate the rest of the game.
Let me ask you this, Josh.
If OU gets up 14-0, that game's over. Like I'll say it like that they are not going to mount that.
Let me ask you this, Josh. I think we've talked about it. I can't remember exactly what the gist of it all was, but is Peyton Houston just a guy that he loves LSU, he wants to play there, and he thinks it'll get better regardless? Or is he a guy that if OU just blows their doors off, like it could make an impact on him?
I think it could make an impact, but where I hesitate with that is, Kerry, he was so adamant, and people around him were so adamant that LSU wasn't that big a deal to them. They went out of their way to make it to where I'm not like every other Louisiana kid and that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that was untrue. I mean, he ends up at LSU, but I mean, up until 2 weeks before, there was never any thought that LSU's really in this. They never felt like they were that serious of a contender. So for them to close that space so fast tells me they were bigger in his recruitment than maybe they let on. And maybe, and again, that's a deal Louisiana kids have to fight, because we all know what it is to recruit in Louisiana. It's really hard. A lot of schools won't waste their effort unless you've really made it clear, you have a chance here. So I never know if that was a sales job or what it was. The what we know, what we've seen transpire makes me think if LSU is showing signs of life, he's going to believe in them. I just think that's where it is, because, he hasn't seemed to waver. He's made no comment I want to look around, I'm going to take some trips. You've seen none of that. And again, that's usually the kind of kid that you're I bet he ends up there. I bet he'll stick. And that's kind of where I'm at. I've got to think that played a role in Oklahoma finally making a new 2027 offer last weekend.
Yeah, and obviously if it's Lane Kiffin, it'd probably be a no-brainer he'd stick. So
yeah.
But the reason I bring that up is because, George, we were talking to Giovanni Gibson yesterday or Monday, and his eyes got real big when LSU came in. He was like, I always wanted to play at LSU growing up.
Yeah, and Kendall Daniels said it too. As an Oklahoma
Daniels
kid.
talked about it, yeah.
I mean, LSU just has this kind of aura about it.
And especially for this group of seniors or juniors, there was a lot of really good LSU teams as they were growing up. I think there's always been an allure, even for me, I think at least, with LSU and Tiger Stadium and a Saturday night in Baton Rouge. That definitely, I think just a college football fan in general, you have some type of allure to it.
Well, you guys think about even these seniors. Think about how old they were when Joe Burrow and that team were so unbelievable. They were 15, 16 years old. This would be right in that era where you're really starting to, process information, really watch football and really getting into it. That Joe Burrow team was just unbelievable, as OU fans are all too familiar with.
This keeps coming up in my mind, and I can't get it out, but
they got lucky at the Peach Bowl.
If
Buki plays, it's maybe a different game.
Oh my God, what an absolute! Ugh. Was it not at LSU when Lane Kiffin caught that golf ball that somebody threw at him from the stands?
That was at Tennessee.
That was at Tennessee
when he made his return to
Oh,
Knoxville.
that makes more sense then. Okay, yeah.
Was that a golf ball? I thought it was a Gatorade bottle or something.
I think there were many things, but one thing he did catch was a golf ball.
It was bad. That was an ugly scene.
I do think it's, not poetic justice, or I don't know what the word is, a coincidence that, last year OU went to LSU and they'd just come off that Alabama game and just kind of fell flat on their face. And after the game, I want to read this quote. I went back and looked at this that Brent said after the game. He said, foundationally, a lot to be disappointed about being 6-6. That's far below our standards. We have a lot of work to do, and once we get some of these big decisions and moments on our schedule out of the way, I got to go back and take a look at every area of our program where we need to be better. There will be nothing we won't look at and evaluate that we need to be better than what we were this year. And you look at the juxtaposition of where they are, this season, and even LSU and what they're going through. Like, they've already fired their head coach. OU is knocking on the doorstep of going to the college football playoff. And, I think if you would have said that before the season, that they would be in this position against an LSU team that is obviously not near as good as what we thought, none of us would have believed it. But it's crazy. It's crazy how far this program has come in 365 days to be sitting in this spot. I don't think any of us would have believed that a year ago.
I think also, too, just in terms of like this senior group that Brent talked about on Tuesday, the 2021 recruiting class, I believe, and just how, there are very few number of them that kind of stuck it out with Oklahoma throughout the entirety of these last 4 years. And for them to, basically have an opportunity in their final game in Norman, as regular season game in Norman, to end it by clinching a spot in the college football playoff. That's so unique and so kind of cool for them to have that memory, if it's a good one, to move on. Because I do think, like so many times, especially in college football these days, that it's unusual for a lot of guys to stick it out through 4 years, and especially through the kind of the hardships that this program has gone through. I don't know. It's just kind of a cool send-off if they're able to get this done on Saturday and clinch a spot. And I think that, that's why one of the reasons that the atmosphere should be unbelievable on Saturday is you don't have these opportunities very often in college football to clinch something on your home field. I think that's pretty fucking cool.
You know what else I think, just about this game and like you said, the atmosphere and the thing, and just the teams that have come in and how much better it's been than the old Big 12 days. It's like, I think that I've just lost my point. I reached over to check the time, and it just fell out of my head.
Oh, boy.
I think it was a great point, though.
I do think it's to your point, Eddie, about the guys that stuck it out.
Because Brent loves this group.
Oh, yeah. Like, I thought he said yesterday, somebody asked him about, I think it was Joe Masato asked him about his team being relentless and when did he see that this group could be a special group. And he said last year, he was like, they never stopped fighting, even though the team was so dysfunctional. Like, the defense never complained a year ago about how bad the offense was. So many guys stuck it out. They were able to retain all of their best players. Guys opted to come back. I mean, like, you forget, like, even guys like Dominic Williams and Grayson Halton, like, they had opportunities. Kip Lewis, all these guys had opportunities to leave. I mean, Robert Spears Jennings, David Stone, jumped in the portal and they were able to keep him. Jaden Jackson was getting pursued by Ohio State, in tampering. Like, there were so many guys that could have easily left the program, and they didn't. They stuck it out. I mean, the Bowen brothers, they could have left. Like, all these guys decided to stay, and I think that that's a really cool thing to see. It tells you, like, we've said it before, and I think some people roll their eyes, but like we've always said, the culture under Brent has been extremely strong, and I think you're kind of finally seeing that with this group and the way that they've been able to win and guys have been able to stick it out. Now they just got to figure out their shit on offense, because if they can, then I think that they can do something really special. Program. Yeah.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
And that's the thing, and that was kind of part of my point, but you mentioned us being able to see, like, behind the scenes a little bit. And I always thought, like, even when the fans and, going through the end of last season, everybody being pissed, I think all of us to some extent thought, it's not as terrible as the fans are making it out to be. Like, yes, the offense was terrible. It was a terrible hire in Seth Luttrell. But if you put that to the side, and I know it's hard to do that, but like you said, the defense, you saw things coming. You saw, we were still up and down on the game management stuff and the timeouts and things like that. But I think Brent has proven that he was doing things the right way for the most part with the season that they've had now. And I also think the fans have gotten a little perspective on what it means to be in the SEC, because you could never learn this lesson in the Big 12. But what the lesson I think the fans are learning is that winning the SEC Conference Championship, it's not the only goal that makes a season successful.
Yeah.
I mean, in the SEC, even in the Big 10, like, the goal now is to make it to the playoffs and to be in the playoff hunt. And Oklahoma's been in that hunt since before the Ole Miss game. Then they fell out of it. Then they're back in it. Of course, beating Tennessee and Alabama put them squarely in it. But it's like, this season's been a lot of fun, and it's been remarkable to see how good they are on one side of the ball, as good as anybody in the country. And it doesn't just have to be about winning one game, to be a conference champion, to have a successful season and to reach really high goals. And
they are playing and the offense has not been good, I get that, but to some degree they are playing some complementary football at times. You can look at the statistics for Oklahoma from offensively from this year to from last year.
They're not the offense, as much as you can criticize, they're not wasting opportunities.
No, they're the number one red zone offense in the country. So when they get down there and they get an extra possession, they're taking advantage of it. That's not something they did a year ago. They're not turning the ball over. And I get it. The expectation is so much higher and they need to be better. I'm not trying to say that they don't, but in some regard they're like, okay, this is our formula. This is how we're going to win. And they're leaning into that. And I think they do deserve some credit for that. Now, if we want to get into the offense, they need to just find some stuff that they can do and lean on and make their core, principles. But I just don't know if that's even realistic at this point in the season.
I just think offensively, and I've talked about this before, I mean, they just don't have the horses. And I don't know what made you think that they would, coming off of last season, one of the worst offensive.
Well, I think that they got Jaden Ott, and everybody was like, oh, well, they're going to be able to run the football.
Yeah.
And you look at John Mateer's history of being able to run it. They're like, you should be able to run the ball. And they've not. And Jaden Ott obviously was a total whiff. It is what it is. But that to me is the biggest issue. It's not, Mateer needs to be better, of course, but
But the receivers are still a big issue.
Yeah, the receivers they don't have enough playmakers. It feels like nobody's getting developed at receiver or tight end. Who exactly has gotten better at receiver or tight end in the last couple years?
Well,
maybe Caden Helms.
I think you can judge by the number of high school recruits that are out there playing in terms of development.
What do you mean?
Not very many.
It's all transfers.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yeah. I see what you mean, yeah.
I mean, even Elijah Thomas, who we know is super talented, is not developing.
Yeah, you're right. It's all transfers. It's not, your best tight end's a guy that played linebacker the last 3 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's probably your best tight end you've had since Braden Willis.
Right.
I mean, that's probably just crazy.
Yeah, and you don't have a single receiver, like you said, you don't have a single receiver that you recruited.
Yeah.
Every single one's a transfer.
Well, and that's the thing, guys. You look back, and that's my only deal, because I'm sure you've gotten them too, George. In the board chats and the mailbag stuff. Lots of people why isn't Emmett on the hot seat? And I'm not arguing that he should or shouldn't be. I think it's a valid question. At the same time, you go back and look at Arbuckle's track record. We talked about this in the offseason. He plays 3 receivers, almost exclusively. That was the case at Washington State. That's been – so is that on Emmett? How does he develop guys if he's not really I don't know if allowed is the right way to say that, but there's clearly a pattern here where this offense wants 3 or maybe 4 guys to basically play, and everybody else is just going to watch.
But to just push back on that, Josh, Emmett's kind of been a 3 to 4 guys the entire time he's been at Oklahoma, anyways. You think back to the last couple years, and they've only played 3 to 4 wide receivers, and they've had different offensive coordinators. So I don't know if that's as much an OC thing or a receivers thing, but it is kind of crazy that. We heard all this good stuff about Zion Kearney in fall camp and Elijah Thomas and how they were making plays. And I don't think that was false. I don't think people were just lying to us about that. And we heard it from multiple people. And for them to not even Zion, Elijah Thomas, one thing, he's a true freshman. I get it. Zion Kearney come on, Eddie, be better.
I don't understand why Instagram, you have to separately turn the volume down.
Yeah,
when
it
you
does
open
have to do that.
Now.
But what I was going to say is, how can Zion Kearney in year 2 not get on the field?
And we've
it's
seen
crazy.
him make plays.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ivan Carrion. I mean, both Ivan Carrion, whatever it is, and Zion Kearney were two guys that, they played a lot in the bowl game. They were probably their best offensive players in the bowl game. We haven't seen either one.
We know Jacob Jordan can play a little ball.
Jacob Jordan was out there for
I'm dead serious.
for 2 plays.
I don't understand why he hasn't been able to get
a little
bit more run, especially when things have been so bad as they have been.
Yeah, that's the part. It's like the wide receiver, at least at running back, they're playing 2 guys that they recruited.
Sure.
I mean,
out of high school, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, and George, I was interested because you bring up a good point. So I went back and looked real quick while you were talking there. In 2020, I can't even gauge 2024 just because of like all the injuries. A lot of guys played. I don't know if that's meaningful. Like it's a flawed data. In 2023, OU had 6 receivers that played more than 140 snaps. This year, they've got. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong year. Let's see. Is that right? 20. Yeah, there's 23, 25. Okay, this year there is 4, 5. There's 4. So again, Jermichael Carter's at 132. He'll get over that number by the end of the year. So it's not wildly different, but it does seem lessened to me because guys, Elijah Thomas. I mean, what does he have? Maybe like 6 snaps all year or some crazy. He's got 37 snaps on the year, and I'm sure that probably includes special teams. It's nuts that guy is not getting any run to see what you've got there.
I'm trying to think back. Because Temple, I think, is a pretty good gauge for like in Auburn too. But like when Mateer got hurt and it kind of like set them back. Like I think Temple, like Giovanni Gibson played in that game. Was that the first game?
Giovanni didn't play till Kent State.
Oh, till Kent State. That's right. Which he was out. So for that one. So
he played
Thomas
against
got
Kent
19
State.
against Temple.
Giovanni played against Kent State.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
But yes, Elijah Thomas played against Temple. Correct.
But, you thought that there'd be this progression where, okay, John Mateer will stick with the receivers at first that he's comfortable with till the offense gets going. And then I think him getting hurt kind of put all that, to the wayside. It was like, okay, that development, it just stops. Or him integrating more guys into the lineup stops, or the rotation stops. Like, now I think you have a chance where a Giovanni Gibson or Jermichael Carter could become bigger factors.
I definitely think Giovanni Gibson and Jermichael Carter, but especially Giovanni Gibson, I think he's slowly getting there. And, again, I don't know if he's going to go out there and just dominate, but I do think you can get him a little bit more involved. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, just give it to Satania and just hope he can break it.
Get your one touchdown.
That's about as good as you can hope for. And the running back situation, if we want to get into that, it's just effed.
Well, and Brent opened the door for Taylor Tatum yesterday.
I just don't that's great. And I'm sure, in a pinch, you could throw Tatum out there. But the guy hasn't. The guy's played less. Well, it's not even about DeMarco. And I don't even blame DeMarco to an extent if he doesn't throw Tatum out there, because he's played less than Jaden Ott has this year.
And when he has played, it hasn't been great.
I highly doubt Taylor Tatum has taken much of any reps in practice. So I don't even know if he knows the offense to some degree. I don't think it would be wise to throw anybody out there other than Xavier Robinson or Torrey Blaylock at this point.
He could know the offense front end and backwards. I'm more worried about him coughing up the football.
Yeah, and at this point,
than I am anything to do with from a play standpoint. And
that's more
super unfair to him because he hasn't played, and maybe he's just improved over the course of the year since last year when he had the fumbleitis. But they're going to be playing in some games, and you would hope after Saturday they're going to be playing in some massive games where, and it might be a little bit different with the playoffs. Xavier will be a little bit more healthy. Torrey Blaylock will be a little bit more healthy, but you certainly don't want to look up and it's a one-score game this weekend on Saturday, and all of a sudden he coughs it up and they scoop and score, and then you're really kind of up a creek.
Well, and that's why I'm kind of on the side of, I don't really it. It sucks. It is it's not a good situation, but if your option is just handing the ball off to Xavier Robinson and letting him fall forward for 2 to 3 yards, that might be your best option. I just kind of think, I don't know if I really blame them for doing that right now, considering the circumstances.
Well, and the last thing you want is a guy that does have a history of fumbling, being out there, and he's not confident. And
right.
He's not sure
or
of himself.
like, people, and I don't think there's anybody really banging on the door for Jade Knott, but if anybody thinks like Jade Knott could do you really want to throw somebody out there that also seems to have no investment in the team or the direction of this thing? Like, I think I'd rather have the guy that's trying to play on a bum knee for you.
I think the fact that we didn't see him at all last week tells you everything you need to know about the rest of the year for Jade Knott.
And there's a lot of people asking about Torrey Blaylock. I think he's not healthy. I think he's not healthy right now, and it's kind of like, hey, Xavier's not healthy either, but he's so physical and big, he'll just fall forward.
I hate to put it this way, but it's almost just a survival. Just survive this weekend.
Yeah, and then hope
you got
hope
a
guys
full
can get
month
healthy
to get ready for the playoff, wherever that may be. If it's Notre Dame, by the way, that has to be the Saturday night primetime, right?
Yeah, I don't think Notre Dame's. Now, I thought this was the week Notre Dame could jump OU, but now I don't. I think OU's, as long as it totally depends on what happens with, like, does Alabama jump OU if they beat A&M?
We can get to that at the end.
Yeah,
we want to continue talking about the offense. I don't know. It's definitely hasn't gone as well, but I do think, like, just in kind of rounding it back to Team 131 and just like the relentlessness that Brent talked about. Finding ways to win, it's hard to win. I think we learned that lesson the last year with this group. And for them to be able to kind of battle through that and not have your best offensively, it speaks to just how elite the defense has been, how good these special teams have been. And just overall, I think that there is like a sense of belief that they can find ways to win, which I never thought was going to happen under Brent Venables. And especially going back over the last month, I never could have imagined that they would go on the run that they did.
I will say the one positive on the offense, too, is it does seem like Mateer is healthier with his knee. Like, he's running the ball a lot better than he was there for a couple
I would kind of
weeks.
expect him to run quite a bit on Saturday,
I think the rest of the season. I think that they're going to go into, like, the Notre Dame offense from a year ago where they ran just Riley Leonard and Jeremiah Love into the ground. I kind of think that's what Oklahoma's going to have to do offensively, is just run Mateer into the ground, basically. Because the quarterback run game is working to some extent.
Yeah. It's
not good.
Trying to diagnose the offense is just, it's like Eddie sitting around editing video for 8 hours straight. Just makes your brain shut down. Bad thing is, I'd love to sit here and talk about the defense, but I mean, God, what do you say about?
They're just amazing. You run out of adjectives.
Yeah, there's nothing to complain about. I mean, other than Reggie Powers having to sit out the first half.
Introducing Oakley Meta Vanguard, the new performance AI glasses designed for athletes. With hands-free capture on an action-ready ultra-wide camera, powerful open-ear speakers, and built-in Meta AI that syncs with your Garmin devices for real-time insights while you train. Take your performance to the next level with Oakley Meta Vanguard. Athletic intelligence is here. Learn more on meta.com.
Josh, we've been kicking this around. Who do you think will be the quote-unquote backup Cheetah on Saturday? Or who do you think that they would deploy there? I kind of lean to the idea they might just tell, hey, Kendall, you got to give us every snap in the first half, and we'll deal with it.
Yeah, because there's just not an obvious choice. Now, I will say the guy whose name I'd heard a bit that they like the way he's coming along is Malik Hawkins, Michael's younger brother. Like I've heard that's been a guy that has impressed people.
And he could definitely play, not burn a red shirt. Like I don't think that he's up against it right now from a appearance standpoint.
I don't believe so. I'd have to look to be sure, but I don't think that's right. I mean, but again, I think you're probably going to ultimately be right, Eddie, that it's a Kendall Daniels. Just kind of do what you can do, and we'll get through it. Because, I mean, it's just a lot of what LSU does, I just don't think is going to hurt Kendall Daniels unless they really were like, okay, we're game planning for this, which I don't really foresee.
Malik Hawkins would be he's still eligible. He's only played in 2 games.
Okay.
If in an emergency situation, would like Hardy maybe be that guy?
I think Hardy or Boganowski, you could see them come in, or even like if it's like a third and very long, like why not just bring in Jacoby Johnson or just another corner?
Davon Jordan.
Davon Jordan, and just say, hey, you're playing man-to-man slot corner here.
I mean, you could also probably put – I mean, he was doing a lot when he was younger, but he hasn't been doing it like last year when he got hurt with the foot stuff, he wasn't doing. But I would think Peyton Bowen could maybe give you some emergency.
Yeah, Peyton
service
Bowen.
there.
Like you could have Spears Jennings and Hardy playing safety, and Peyton Bowen could play. You could. They have enough guys. I'm honestly not too worried about. Even a Samuel Masigo, he's played the Cheetah position. So like if Kendall were to,
that's a good point.
If Kendall needed a spell and you wanted to throw another third linebacker, a bigger body out there, Samuel Masigo could do that for you. So they got options.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks because I think Reggie Powers is having a great year and he's awesome. He can do so much for you.
And he's just missing a half.
Yeah, but I think they'll be fine.
And he was having a hell of a game when he went out. He was playing really well before that point.
I was concerned. So. Like, I don't know why I was, but it was just like it seemed like a big loss at the time. All right. You know what? Bob Stoops was here yesterday, Josh, and he's the guest on this week's Family Business Show. And I'd say, hey, Bob, after they were done, I said, hey, Bob, just sit right there. I want to show you something. And I showed him Jonathan Hatton's film. And he was like, oh, who's this? He goes, and I said, oh, this is the running back that just decommitted from A&M and committed to OU yesterday. And he looks up and goes, looks like Adrian Peterson. And I was like, yeah, he's kind of – I said he's kind of – and I told him, like – that you thought he was kind of like a Xavier Robinson, and Joe Jr. was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I was kind of thinking, see, to me, he looks a little bit more like a Leonard Fournette than an AD, in terms because like Fournette was not AD, and everybody was like, oh, this is the next AD, and you're like, oh, we've seen the AD, this is not quite that. I mean, Leonard Fournette was a stud. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you remember being at that camp in Atlanta, Kerry, when they were like, "Yeah, he's an ex-AD."
He was just a junior then.
Yeah.
Because he was back in Chicago the next year.
It wasn't. It was never about like, oh, he's not good. He's phenomenal. You're just comparing him to an absolute monster. Pretty much, again, people always ask me, like, who are the two biggest freaks the biggest freaks you've ever seen? It's Adrian Peterson, Jadeveon Clowney. Like, they're just not normal athletes. They did stuff I've never seen anybody else do. And so, like, I was just like, that's too much to lay at his feet. But Fournette was unbelievable. I think that's a pretty good comp, actually. In the commit breakdown, for those that have missed it and kind of missed where we led into this, as Kerry was saying, they got a commitment from Jonathan Hatton, a kid from Cibolo Steel, big program into the San Antonio area. He committed to Oklahoma during his sophomore year, like early in his sophomore year, really stuck with that for quite a while, and then decommitted almost a year ago to the day. I think it was like December 3rd or something when he decommitted from Oklahoma. And committed A&M back in the spring. It seemed like it was kind of a lost cause, but Oklahoma, to DeMarco Murray's credit, really hung around, fought that fight, and reeled him back in this week. But the Xavier Robinson, people are going to go watch that and be like, Josh, he's different. He's got more speed. Like, he is a top-end speed guy. You can watch him when he hits full stride against, good teams like Austin Westlake, some of these great teams that they play against at Steel. He separates in the secondary. He's running away from people. He is big and he's fast. Probably about 6 foot, 205, 210, something like that. Really big, powerfully built guy. And I like him a lot. The Xavier Robinson is that he's just north and south. What OU has excelled with Xavier is like he's decisive. He picks a lane. He gets 4 or 5 yards if he can get them. Jonathan Hatton does that, but at
then
the end, if he can pop out,
he would probably win a 40-yard dash. Like if you did a Xavier Robinson and a Jonathan Hatton, like what do they call that when they superimpose them in the NFL draft?
Yeah,
probably be a few yards ahead at the end of the 40.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly not Rich Eisen versus the fastest man at the NFL Combine, but Hatton would have a step for sure. The only guy in the backfield I would say that I know Hatton probably can't run with is Torrey Blaylock, and Torrey Blaylock's a state, a national level sprinter in high school. So, Hatton's really good. I struggle a little bit because somebody asked me, like, he's the best back since when that OU's landed, and my initial reaction, like a year ago when he was still committed, was, was kind of Joe Mixon in 2015, going all that way back. I could hear the argument for Rodney Anderson. Like, people forget how good Rodney was coming out of Katy and Houston. Big time guy, similar in like their measurables, very different as players, but similar in like big, strong guys with real top end speed. But yeah, I think that's the caliber you're talking about. Jonathan Hatton walks in, and I would be surprised if he doesn't have a role next year.
Now, this weekend, I know we talked about it on the recruiting report, but it's going to be a massive one.
It is. I think I was actually doing the count a little while ago. I think I've got about 30 confirmed right now. And guys, just if 2026, it's almost exclusively, in fact, it is exclusively as far as my confirmation, just a lot of commitments. But that's great because you've got Noah Abibi and Jonas Muya coming in. You've got the Malik Franklin kid coming in. That's been confirmed now. For those that missed it, I guess I should just clear this off the board. Messiah Mickens committed to Virginia Tech yesterday. I think that was absolutely a domino where, like, we talked about this in the recruiting report, guys, that my feeling kind of was Messiah Mickens know you get to talk in NIL. They start having that conversation, and they're like, well, okay, we can do that number. We can maybe make that work. But if we're going to do that, why don't we go back to Jonathan Hatton, who, I think most kind of believed A&M just paid more than OU was, willing to or capable, however you want to say it, pay an NIL back in the spring. And OU kind of, I think, went back to Hatton and said, hey, maybe this could work. And I think Hatton went with the school he always wanted to go to. He just the numbers had to work right. So I think that's what you get here. And then Mickens, picks Virginia Tech, who, like I said, 10 days ago, he was not sure that Virginia Tech was even going to be an option for him. So it kind of tells you how fast all this stuff can move. But again, so Mickens is no longer on the list, but you've got Malik Franklin, the big defensive lineman from Daphne, Alabama. You've got the two offensive linemen, Noah Abibi from Friendswood in the Houston area, and Jonas Muya, the big 6'8", 260 guy from Indiana. So there's a lot going on there. But where it just blows you away, guys, we've talked about what OU's doing and how much the recruiting storyline for OU has changed. The defensive line group in 2027, Elijah Harmon, who is an All-American, going to play in one of the All-American games. Zane Rowe, going to play in one of the All-American games. Crew Jones, going to play in one of the All-American games. Taven Epps, going to play in one of the – it's crazy. And that's just the D-line, D-line kind of front seven guys. And that's leaving off a few guys, including one I think OU's probably going to end up offering this weekend, a kid named Drake Carroll out of San Antonio. So there's a lot on the defensive side of the ball that's just unbelievable. And then, on the offensive side of the ball, it's just, five-star Cooper Hackett. Jackson Stokes will be back in from California. And there's still a lot more I still have to confirm and just haven't heard back from yet. So this to me, other than Michigan, this will be OU's biggest visit weekend.
I was trying to think, are the chances of a commitment from the 27 kids more likely? I mean, is there any 26 kid that hasn't committed?
Yeah, I mean,
could
the two high school offensive linemen and even the Malik Franklin kid, I've got them both, on the feature I've got up on the site for the last week or two. It's called the War Board, and I just kind of update my prediction as I hear new stuff and information kind of changes. I've got all three of those guys picking Oklahoma right now. Now, whether they do it this weekend, I'm not as sure about that. I think with the two offensive linemen, I think there will be some move to that because my feeling is, and again, these guys are separate ideas. Noah Abibi's an interior guy, Jonas Muya is an outside guy. I think what you're going to have is if Muya didn't make his decision, or maybe even Abibi, maybe they're related. The Cole Seaton guy from Mesquite Horn who came in last weekend that is teammates with Markel Ford, I wonder if OU would move on him before signing day and try to, okay, you had your shot. You could have committed to us. If you're not going to do it, we're going to go get this guy out of the Dallas area. So I think there is – and I think that's why you're seeing Oklahoma with all this momentum. They're developing other options to where, okay, if you don't want to come on, we've got this guy. We're ready to go in this direction. And I think that's why, especially at 2027 DB, we've talked about this. I think that's part of what is moving these guys is, hey, you love OU, that's great, man, but if you don't want to get on this spot now, it may not be here in a month.
Interesting. Anybody got anything for Josh on recruiting wise?
No, it sounds like things are going pretty well, Josh, especially in the 27 class.
One thing, I'm sorry, Jordan, I just completely interrupted you. One thing I did want to say, because I know people had some concerns after the Messiah Mick and stuff, Jasir Rogers confirmed for me he will be in Norman this weekend. So the James Franklin connection, I think people were a little worried. To Jasir's credit, he's been very adamant since the time he made a decision. I'm with OU. I'm done with all this. He's not doing anything more. So obviously big for OU to get him back on campus and, expect him to sign next Wednesday.
I was just going to say, too, and I know that it's still, I guess, a year away from some of these guys signing in 2027, but we talked about it a little bit on the recruiting report this week, just in terms of this is a class that, if Oklahoma is able to finish off, continue the momentum from on the field, it just feels like this could be one of the better classes in 2027, combined with what we've already talked about in-state that maybe OU's ever had. I don't know. Is that, too high expectation?
I think it is a class that can get OU back to where we're used to seeing them with those top 7, top 6 type classes. I think for them to really be like, okay, this is one of the better classes OU's ever had, they'd have to go get a Cooper Witten. You'd have to see, if it is Jamison Roberts at quarterback, you'd have to see him really move up the rankings and that kind of stuff. But what's crazy, guys, is you look at it, and you say, well, the 2024 class, no, 25, I said it right the first time, I'm sorry. The 25 class was the first one of Venable's group that wasn't a top 10 class. That class has Ryan Foje, Michael Fasusi, Trent Blaylock, Cortland Guillory, all these young guys that you're like, I think OU did a really good job there. I think they found players that can help them. So I think I think OU fans can take some solace in that, okay, maybe – even this 26 class doesn't look as great. There's some good evaluations here where Oklahoma may look smart in a year's time. So, again, I think you're right, Eddie. I think 2027 has a chance to be more where OU fans, want to be, expect to be, say it however you want to. But, I mean, that class has a chance to be really good because there are literally a dozen or more mid to high-level 4-stars and, a couple of 5-stars sprinkled in there as well that I think OU probably leads for right now. So they've got to go close it and do the deal. But this should be a class where you sign, I guess, what is it, the blue chip ratio? You sign, more. You have more 4 and 5 stars in the class than you do 3 stars, which is what you're aiming for.
Something I've been wondering about, Josh, and I don't know if this has crossed your mind at all or been on your radar, but we started talking about in was it last week? I think it was around the corner that we did last week. Everybody's asked about if Mateer would be the quarterback next year, or if they'd move on, or they needed to go find somebody else. And Josh, every time somebody asks one of those questions, I ask myself, I was down there. I saw Bo Bentley practicing. I saw a kid that throws with incredible touch. Very good accuracy. Don't know if he's big enough to go out there and play in the SEC right now. But, he's more like Michael Hawkins. I mean, size-wise. You put Michael Hawkins next to John Mateer, it's a mismatch physically. I mean, John Mateer is a big dude, thick, and big. Michael Hawkins still slight of frame, hasn't really changed his body a whole lot since he's been here.
I think he's
put on
some
for sure. He's put on some weight.
I don't see it as noticeable, though. Maybe it's just because I see him standing next to Mateer, and I'm like, man, he looks small. But I don't know. What do you have you thought at all? Okay, what if worse came to worse? Could Bo Bentley play as a freshman?
I mean, I think he could, and I think he's aided a lot by what Salina does offensively. Is very similar to what Oklahoma does. I don't think it's going to be guys, we all know. I mean, the RPO stuff, it's all over high school, college, it's everywhere. So he's used to making those reads. He's used to making those decisions. Now, to me, with quarterback, it's all about how quickly can you process it, because obviously we know playing Stephenville, if you're Salina, is a very different, conversation than playing Auburn or Alabama or Tennessee. I mean, everything is just so hurried. So I think, I mean, do I think it's possible? Absolutely. I think Bo Bentley's really talented. I like him a lot. I think he is about as tailor-made a fit for Oklahoma and what they do offensively as you could find. And that's why, Oklahoma jumped through some hoops and kind of hurt some feelings on their way to getting Bo Bentley. So there's reason for that.
Totally forgot about that whole chain of events.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is what it is. But at the same time, I will say I think Bo Bentley is more gifted as a passer than John Mateer is. Like, you watch him and some of his accuracy and the touch he shows. And again, I think it's a kid that grew up doing it. It's all he's really ever done, other than, like I said, 1 year of high school where he played a lot of receiver, where he's such a good athlete.
An entire family that all they do is throw around balls.
Yeah. So again, like, I don't think that's crazy. Now, I mean, we'd have to see where Mateer is next year and that kind of thing. But if it continued and you realized, okay, maybe it wasn't the injury that slowed John Mateer down in the second half, defenses figured him out, whatever it is, I don't see any reason why Bo Bentley couldn't be part of that conversation.
Just to throw this out there, Michael Hawkins showed up at OU at 196 pounds. Mm-hmm. He's now 206 pounds. John Mateer is listed at 224. So Mateer is obviously bigger, but Hawkins has put on some weight.
Well, and Mike's taller, isn't he? Like, Mike's like a longer athlete.
I think so.
Than Mateer, isn't he?
I think he is. I mean, what are they
Hawkins
listed at?
is listed at 6'1", and so is John Mateer. They're both listed at 6'1".
Okay. I could see Michael just being more spread out. Like, just kind of, like, he's big, but not.
I also think when Mateer, when he gets officially measured, he'll be 6 foot. He'll be like 6 foot and a half or something, and I think Hawkins would be like 6'1" and a quarter. So I do think Hawkins
he can
is
claim
slightly
6'2", George. They're robbing him on the official roster.
I think so, but I think they're also pumping up Mateer's. I don't think Mateer's 6'1". I think he's 6 foot.
Is this the green bean casserole revenge going on? Right
now? No, and I do love green bean casserole. I just think Mateer, like, I'm 6'1" and I'm taller than John Mateer. So
I couldn't. I have no expertise in that and being taller than people. So
in Walmart's Hooluville, everyone ready their cart. Amazing Black Friday deals are about to start. Online and in the app, such great deals to explore. Everything you love, from tech, toys, and more. The days to save and the ones to remember. It's only the 25th to the 30th of November. Set your alarms. Don't miss out. These deals are epic, without a doubt. The Who's are all ready, but are you? Walmart Black Friday deals await. Who knew?
Here's a question. Is Michael Hawkins at Oklahoma next year if John Mateer comes back?
Probably not. I mean, I think you kind of have to understand why he's... I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's redshirting because he wants, But even then, he'll have 3 years left after this year? So maybe he could come. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe he's like, hey, that's what Kyler Murray ended up having to do. Everybody thought Baker was going to leave after 2016, and Kyler still stuck it out. Mm-hmm. But I kind of think. I mean, I think he'll have an opportunity to go start somewhere at the Power 4 level. I truly believe that somebody will take him. I don't know. It's a great question. I mean, I could see him sticking it out, and then him and Bentley having a quarterback competition in the spring of, what would that be? Spring of 2027.
Yeah. But with the portal now, I mean,
it's just tough. I wouldn't blame him to leave to go try and be a starter somewhere.
I mean, that's the problem with one portal. You have to make a decision before things happen.
Yeah, and I will say, just throwing this out there, I did ask John Mateer this week if he's made any sort of decision on what he's going to do next year. And, I mean, I know a lot of people are like, obviously he's going to come back. Like, why would he go to the NFL? But I just asked for clarity's sake, and he said that he hasn't even thought about it, really. So, and I kind of believe him because I think he knows he's coming back.
I jokingly told you after we got back from practice, when you asked that question, it was almost like I felt like John Mateer wanted to ask a question back, which was, do you think I'm good enough to play in the NFL?
Yeah. I will say, like, he's getting paid a lot of money, and he's set up to get paid a lot of money next year by OU. And I know there's a lot of people out there like, well, go get a different quarterback. I kind of think if Mateer did enter the portal after this season, he'd get more money than what he's going to make at OU.
Yeah.
Somebody would pay him a lot of money.
Because there won't be a whole lot of quarterbacks like him out there in the portal.
No.
I mean, Jackson Arnold. Who are you going to take? Jackson Arnold, John Mateer?
John Mateer.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think the jury's out. We'll see. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm interested what's going to happen at Auburn at quarterback.
Are they going to hire John Summerall? It sounds like Arkansas.
I'm sure they're waiting for Tulane. Tulane's going to make the playoff.
Did I get catfished in thinking or seeing that? Did Arkansas and Alex Golsh, is that a thing?
An Arkansas reporter has reported that they've have a deal in place.
There hasn't been anything.
There have been no
official.
national people say that. So I don't.
Who's Penn State going to hire?
No clue. No clue.
Would they? Are they like the number one like remorse? Should they have just maybe not
stuck it out,
reacted so quickly to the James Franklin stuff? I don't know.
It just kind of tells you that the boosters are running things at Penn State.
It would seem.
It's not Penn State. It's everywhere. I mean, the boosters are running things more than they ever have in every school.
Credit to Oklahoma State. I think that they did a really good job. Like, I think Weiberg did a really good job just in terms of like putting together the search. There wasn't a whole lot that came out on it. Not that I expected there to be, but it seems like it was a pretty clean, hey, we're going to go get this guy and he's going to be our guy type of deal.
Yeah, and it happened quickly and quietly, like you said.
I wonder if the Mestamaker kid's going to come with him. I would have to think that's a good
I would
pace,
have to think
right?
that
I would think so.
If you're a real program, you have to be able to put together more money than North Texas.
I think more.
It's not the North Texas.
He could go wherever.
I think he could go wherever.
Right.
That's the problem.
Like
when
the country
we're talking about quarterbacks that get into the portal that would be really, really good.
Yeah,
he might be one of the best,
and he's young too.
And so
and they're going to want his running back too, the kid from Oklahoma, Caleb Hawkins. It's having a huge year for North Texas.
But here's the thing: in those situations, George, you don't have to be the top dollar in that thing. If you go with your coach,
correct,
and run a system.
I mean, OU wasn't the top
comfortable.
dollar for Mateer.
Right. Miami was going to offer more.
Miami offered him almost double. Miami was offering him a shitload of money. So you don't have to. North Carolina offered him a lot of money, but
yeah,
you're right. I just think that what if I'm trying to think of a program that could, like, what if Alabama went to the kid and said, "Hey, we'll come over to Alabama."
But hey, guys, look at across the border. LSU, who's going to be their quarterback next year? They don't have an obvious choice.
Well, it depends. I mean, if it's Lane Kiffin, maybe he brings somebody with Austin Simmons
Chambliss?
or I don't know if Chambliss has another year.
Is he not?
No, this was his last year.
No, he's done.
But he could bring Austin Simmons with him.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would think LSU.
But I think
Lane won't have a problem finding a quarterback.
I do think the North Texas quarterback will end up with Eric Morris at OSU. I'm just saying, don't be shocked if like suddenly some major program makes a run after him.
Sure.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, in the SEC in the preseason, all the quarterbacks that were talked about. I mean, start with Arch. I mean, very Nussmeier.
Arch has turned out to have a pretty good year.
Yeah, he is, and Mateer to some extent. They were all overhyped, though.
Lenore Sellers.
Oh my God, Lenore Sellers.
Now, some of the Sellers stuff, he's not been good. I think everything around him is just a shit show.
Completely fair.
Just a total shit show.
I mean, for everybody loves like, terrible. Nick Harbor. Nick Harbor's just huge and fast. Like, he's not a good receiver.
And their offensive line's
it's
maybe the worst in the SEC.
It's bad, like OU's was bad last year.
How many sacks have they given up? It's got to be a lot.
Now, is OU, did they fall behind in the sack lead in the country? Or are they still, because they were tied going in.
I know they still lead for tackles.
Oh, they
for
lead.
loss.
Oh, they lead for sacks in the country.
Okay.
Yeah, 42, I believe, or 41. South
41.
Carolina has given up 38 sacks this year. That's 131st in the country. What is Oklahoma giving up? Oklahoma's given up 24.
And there's a team in the SEC who has given up more than South Carolina.
Yes,
Auburn.
Well, that's because Jackson Arnold was their quarterback.
Yeah.
And it's still not nearly as many as OU gave up last year.
They've given up. Auburn's given up 41. OU gave up 50 a year ago. Auburn could certainly get to 50.
Well, I mean, I guess they could this weekend, maybe, but the odds are they're not going to get.
They're not going to make a bowl game
point that OU got. Yeah,
yeah, they're not going to get a bowl game. You're right.
By the way, we do. We talked last week on the Eskridge Lexus post game pod that if OU wins, we'll come back and we're not going to have a drunk pod, but we'll have a drinking pod. We have a beer sponsor.
A refreshment is what we'll have.
We have a beer sponsor?
Yeah, we have a beer sponsor. Quick Trip has stepped up, and they're bringing us their own Quitting Time beer.
Nice.
Very good. Looking forward to it.
If they win. If they lose, not looking forward to it.
If they win, we need more of the beer.
Yeah, well, maybe more. Maybe more than just alcohol.
If they lose, I'm coming on just blitzed. So that's going to happen.
I don't even know.
Whiskey slurring.
I've never even thought about Eddie drinking anything but beer. What are you, a vodka man?
Yeah, I like a vodka water every once in a while. It's usually like I don't really delve into the liquors too much outside of taking shots and stuff. But vodka water, like after a day of golf or something during the summer when it's just like, beer's not going to do it anymore.
Oh, you're a club special guy. No,
I'll get a couple club specials.
I've become a wine person.
Yeah, wine's
good.
I'm
going to drink several glasses of wine this week.
I'm usually only a wine guy, though, when it's like kind of colder out. I'm not much of a white wine guy. Like during the summer. And
I like white wine, but I've become more of a red wine. Definitely this time of year, I've been drinking some red wine.
Red wine's good. The bottle we had up in Birmingham was awesome. It was a good bottle.
Can I complain about something unrelated to football?
Yeah.
Unless it's related to Sooner Scoop.
No, it's not. It's related to
Chuck Schumer,
a homeowner now. There's this lady, and I really hope...
Oh, God, I've heard this story.
I hope this lady listens to the pod. I highly doubt she does. But...
I don't think people that do this listen to sports pods.
There's this lady who every single day leaves cat food outside of our house.
For the stray cats?
For the stray cats. And this, I don't think this person realizes how it attracts other animals. I mean, we've got a raccoon living in our backyard.
Some possums,
we've got possums in our backyard. We now have mice around our house. Ugh. We've been catching mice, which has just been a disaster. Our dogs are going crazy. This lady has single-handedly ruined my life. I cannot comprehend why she keeps doing this. I throw it away every morning. I get up and there's a whole huge thing of cat food sitting in our yard. I've put a sign in our yard. Please stop doing this. Please stop putting cat food in our yard. And she just keeps doing it. It's pissing me off.
She's crazy?
So
I've never seen her, but she's got to be crazy.
I have so many questions. I'm full of questions. Okay, George, just so I make sure, like you live in a standalone house. This is your own house.
Yeah.
This is just a random person that you do not know that's leaving cat food in your yard?
Yes. And I put signs out. And she used to put it.
I've even heard of this.
Get this, Josh. She used to put it on our front porch. On our front porch, she'd put a bowl of water and it's paper. It's like a paper bowl and then a paper bowl of full cat food. And I eventually had
dry
to.
Dry or wet?
Dry. It's just like kibble. Yeah. And I put a sign on the side of our house, a paper sign. I taped it on the thing and said, "Please stop putting cat food in our yard." And so now she puts it on the curb. She just puts it on the curb, which is just 10 feet further down. I mean, they're still, and I'm like, what the hell is every single day? And I'm not kidding. It is without a doubt every single morning. And I get up, 7 a.m., whatever. It's out there full of kibble every single morning.
Is she doing it to anybody? Like any of your neighbors?
It's not just our house.
Okay.
It's like she does it like maybe not every house, but maybe a couple houses down there we'll see another bowl of cat food, and then another couple houses down a bowl of cat food. It's crazy. And there are stray cats. There's like 3 stray cats that, live around our house, and they just, and our dogs just go effing crazy at them. It is irritating me. I don't know what to do. Like, I can't call the police on this person.
I think you got two options here.
Oh, God.
You either start killing the cats or you kill the lady.
I've mentioned killing the cats.
I mean, have you? Is like, would animal control have any interest? I wonder. Like, try to have them out.
For stray cats, I don't think that they can.
Not in Oklahoma City.
I really don't know. My great aunts used to do this, George. They used to and they were like crazy people.
Yeah,
but they used to
feed
the
neighborhood cats.
I mean, I think it boils down to she has nothing else to do. She has no family, probably.
Like so, and you keep saying like you seen her?
No, so I don't even know if it's a lady. I guess that's
could be an old man
being sexist, but I just I have a theory on who it is though, and there is a lady down the street that the stray cats are always hanging out outside that house, and my theory is that it is her.
That I'm knocking on a door.
Yeah.
Like, hey, is this you? Like, stop doing this. Like, if you want to do it to the other houses, that's their problem. Leave my house the hell alone.
Yeah. It's pissing me off. So anyways, whoever you are, if you're listening to this podcast, again, you probably are not, but please, for the love of God, stop putting cat food in our yard.
It takes you a while also to get over, once you've had a mouse in your house, to like get over that creeping around every corner thinking you're going to see another one.
Yeah, we had to buy a mouse trap that electrocutes them.
You didn't have to, you did.
Oh, man.
I did, yeah. Well, I felt bad. I mean,
this is a bad discussion. No, this is not a discussion that you should have. Dealing with mice, it's a terrible thing, but it's not something that needs to be discussed publicly because everybody's going to have opinions on how you deal with mice, and no one's going to agree. It's like talking religion on Sooner Scoop. It's just not going to go well. Or politics.
Oh, we're going to talk some religion now?
No.
Eddie, you want to get into it?
No.
I mean, Eddie's on his high holy day of Thanksgiving Eve.
He's busy typing.
Kenrich Williams is coming back tonight. We're good.
I guess Shay's not playing tonight.
He's sick. Some little snot-nosed kid probably at Ari's class got
him sick. All those little free
You're going to the game
kids
tonight, too. That sucks.
I know. Maybe they'll call on me. I mean, the type of week I've had, they might call on me. I might shoot the half-court shot. Do something like that
Eddie,
tonight.
The question everybody wants to know, did you and David Stone talk rec specs? Like, did you guys get into that? Did you work that out a little bit?
I don't think we've talked to him.
You know what's funny? I didn't even realize that he was wearing those until Josh Calloway pointed it out in the third quarter. It's wild to me, speaking of somebody that Enjoy needs to call, that he just he's been like Rick Vonning this thing from Major League. He just was playing without being able to see for years. Because he does wear glasses. I've seen him wear glasses.
We need to hook that up because Enjoy would probably get him a deal.
Yeah.
He could go in on a Tuesday and be out by Thursday, ready to play in the playoff game.
I'll hit up their people.
It is crazy, though, that he just hasn't been able to see. Is that ultimately what has happened here?
I guess. But, Eddie, I mean, not to dodge the important part of that story, but David's got a pass test, so you probably should handle his painkillers for him. So I think it works for everybody. Everybody comes out of this happy.
100%. I would do that for him.
I don't think when you're a teenager, if you have sort of bad vision, I don't think it doesn't bother you. I bet at some point it just started getting so bad he was like, yeah, I can't really see like I need to.
I mean, I wonder if you've always had it, do you even notice it that much? Or is this just this is how I see? This is not it's not as good as I grew up with 20/20, but there's other people that it was fine. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. And you wonder if they even thought about it until they reach a certain age and like, oh, this is like you're saying, Carrie, this is a real problem.
I never got glasses and I needed them, but I never got them until I started driving at night. And I realized I couldn't see things I needed to see, so then I got glasses. And I had rec specs my junior year in high school. Catching. I lost them.
Speaking of, I'm going to give a
catch with rec specs because of the mask. You couldn't fit them into the into the actual mask frame, and then when I would take off the mask, the glasses, the rec specs would pop out, go with the mask. It was a bad deal.
Oh, that's terrible. Who was it? Chris Sabo? Was he the rec specs?
He did wear them, yeah.
He was that dude was really good too. Not just like a guy that wore. I mean, that guy was a multi-time All-Star. I did want to give a shout out. A guy that has watched all of our YouTube content, one of our members, reached out to me like a month ago and was like, "Josh, I watched you like messing with your glasses constantly all the time." And he has literally gotten with me, got me a new set of prescriptions and sent them to me. A guy from Capital I in Austin. So anybody in the Austin area got some glasses, help our guys out at Capital I. So just wanted to give a brief shout out. No free ads, but the dude did help me out. So I really appreciate it.
That's exactly a free ad. I don't know. No free ads.
I mean, it's not.
It's called payola, Josh. You get in trouble for that on radio.
He's hooking me up with some glasses. So,
All right. Yeah, that's going to do it. Unless Eddie wants to extend this podcast like he does all the Eskers Lexus post games.
No, I got a lot to do, so I'm ready to get this game day preview done and head back home.
George is giving him dirty looks right now. All right, thanks a lot. You can give him dirty looks while he talks about your pants and stuff on the next game day preview that we're getting ready to tape next. All right, that's going to do it. We'll be back again next week after we find out whether or not Oklahoma is playing a home game against Notre Dame or they're going to the shit bowl somewhere in Texas, which I don't think is going to happen. So that's not an actual bowl. It should be Tushy Bowl. How about the Tushy Bowl? Get that going. All right, that's going to do it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Hope it's a great one. Hope you get to spend some quality time with the family. And enjoy the time off. All right. We'll see you guys back here next week for another edition of the Unofficial 40 from Soonerscoop.com.